here, start sliding top there, which made me think that maybe there's a bad weld, and there still may be a bad weld behind this. I hadn't got this side off. There's a, I'm not sure what's going on. The welds up here look fine up at the top corner. I went ahead and pulled off all the insulation and everything else. I am going to paint it up here. There's a little light up there. That needs to be replaced. There's a little light up there too. That needs to be fixed, repaired, and gooped.
Oh my gosh.
What?
The roof caved in.
Something, yeah.
Insulation or
I'll be back. A little bit later on in the evening. I decided to go ahead and spray paint the rust with some Rust-Oleum. It's supposed to stop rust. I'll lay a thicker coat on it later on. I'll fix that also a little bit later on as we get this farther tore apart. But might as well go ahead and do it. But look, they did what they did in the house. There's no insulation, and it goes below the floor for the wall, so mice could actually get into the walls on these things if they wanted. So if he's had one of these he's living out of, you'd have to do some major mouse proofing on these trailers. I don't know if this is manufactured or not. You think it's custom or combination of both? I don't know. No. Anyhow, and get some stainless steel wool and put it in that thing area before you throw it back together, and keep the mice out of the walls. So if you ever we end up somewhere with mice, they won't get into the rig. And maybe some insulation. It has insulation in it, but it's like this. There's a rib, there's a space, there's some insulation, there's a space, there's a rib. So it's really not doing much. I mean, no, it's as good as it can be. And the weird thing is they use plywood. I think they use plywood. It definitely looks stock with a Luan. They use Luan plywood in the ceiling. I kind of think someone may have crawled up in the ceiling once before, and to save money, maybe they replaced it with the strips here. The strips don't really work that great. If it gets wet, it gets destroyed. So maybe that's what happened. Maybe not. Maybe they got into it and did some work on it. We'll find out. So get more and more tore off. I'm going to pull off the other side here and see if you can see it. Bouncing up and down. That whole front section looks like it's disconnected from the rear section. I'm afraid they may use plywood to help hold this whole bottom of the trailer together. That's what I'm afraid of. When I shake it, the whole front moves. So maybe we lost some welds or something else. Pretty sure this whole thing has had heavy abuse. That's fine. It needs to be done. It needs to be pulled apart. The core of the wood looks good. Just the edges look like it may be bad up front. Maybe. Looks like maybe over here. Moving a little bit up that way too. Down low. So probably a good thing to get in here, check the welds, re-weld what we can, how we can, and fix it. You know what? I bet you it has damage. It has damage up here and damage up there. Maybe they broke the whatever tied it to the rest of the trailer here. And see if that's it. I'm fixing to go in there and eat me some breakfast, lunch, whatever it is, second meal. Alright, I can get this off probably first though. I have to get the screwdriver to do it. Alright, gotta pull that up. There it is, it's all off. Now let's look at this. I suspect this is probably, yeah, look at that. That's it. That has some broken welds down in there. I wonder what you do to this thing to break a weld. There's lots of broken welds on it. But that's okay, because I can re-weld those welds. See, it moves. It's not hooked up to it. It had some bolts going through, tying this to this piece. But it still shook a lot, and it's like, well, why would it shake? It shouldn't shake like that. Well, that's why. What we'll do is we'll pull out the plywood here, clean up these joints a lot, find a way to clamp it down, either bolt it down and clamp it down into position, come in here and drop some nice long hot welds on it. Very nice long hot welds. And you see it all along there. I bet someone lived on a country road who had this originally. I think they ran it heavy and they had it on a country road. Oh, that's fixable. Let's see. Get it where you guys can see it. Yeah, so the only thing that's holding on this front piece here is the strapping and the fiberglass on top. We'll take care of that pretty dang fast. We'll just come in here and weld a lot. Hot welds. That will solidify this area. Also take away a lot of the moisture that's coming in here. Make this whole thing a nice big solid box. We'll place the plywood here. I don't know if it's coming. It is definitely moving a lot. Of course, there is an opportunity here. We'll see when we get it all apart, because we could change this into a V-nose trailer since we're already going to be in here doing welding. And it'd be a lot easier to have a V-nose front on it, a V-nose cap on it, and have that sealed versus having the fiberglass up there. And increase aerodynamics, it wouldn't take that much out of here. Like if we ran like from here to here, drop the V-nose, we get rid of that damage that's down there, bend in the frames, and then give us a little bit of aerodynamics. We wouldn't lose that much room because it's in the corner. Then we can drop a straight angle on that one too to heal it up. I'll have to pull off this side still yet, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what's going on. And then we can, I'll have to do a full V-nose, but we could tie it into the frame that way. I think that's probably what we're going to do. We'll see. I don't have enough gas to do this, I don't think. I have enough to do that, but I could. Maybe. I don't know. It's not that much. Huh. We'll think about it. I'll talk to Erin about it. This is her trailer. Alright, so we got the top portion off up here to get a clear look of what's going on up here in this subframe where no one can see. And clear look over here of what's going on here. I may pull this one off because I still want to look at the frame and I want to pull the floor up. I hate messing with the tiles here. I gotta pull that up before I can pull the screws out, which I can't even really pull the screws out because it's all rotten here and here. And probably over here too. I wonder. It's a weird way of doing a wall too. Really strange. A corner off, but I don't know. This is also very weird. I'm guessing they had a vibration problem and this was their fix because it's easier to access than it was to pull everything apart. Pretty sure the ceiling has been replaced at one point. What else? Oh yeah, the metal here. You see this little dots all over everything? Get it in the light right. That's, I think, because this is aluminum, I think that's from whenever they had the sheets stored. They got little gravel pieces between the sheets, and when they walked on it, it created these little dimples everywhere. You can't see on the outside. It's not a big deal. It's just, you would think you could take care of it. That or it got splattered by a lot of high-speed debris from the outside, which is also a possibility too. But look at this thing. This is that front fiberglass piece, and you can see light through a lot of it where the fiberglass has gotten thin, and right there it's leaked a little. So this thing has had a lot of water come through while it's going down the road, which made the support members rusty, which is why we're in here, because I think we have a couple bad welds. Actually, I know we have bad welds, but I think we have a couple more bad welds. I had to pull the door off to pull this skin off, and probably the reason no one's really fixed it or done half butt jobs, or halfly done right jobs, because they didn't want to do the tear apart to do it right, to make it right. I understand, it happens, but So far, so good. There's this weird thing that's going on here. I don't know. Well, I kind of know what happened. When they made it, they cut it too short and measured it too short, and they found out it needed to be higher here. I'm still going to say this is a custom job. I mean, I'd like to say that it's not, but when you see stuff like this and it's cut all the way up down, I think it's a custom build trailer. I don't know. And then you have this stuff. I don't yeah. I hadn't seen inside enough trailers to know if this is how they're all built like this. But this thing, I don't know, that I thought maybe, but yeah. I'm leaning towards custom. It's I don't know, we're gonna modify it anyhow. We're gonna fix some things. We're gonna make this as a kind of a double hauling / possible emergency living situation. So we got to modify it so we could do that and make it a little bit more aerodynamic so it pulls a little better too. Plus we can get rid of that whole fiberglass crap up there that's falling apart and leaking water into the living space, causing the raw metal on the inside that is exposed to the underside to rust and possibly break welds. And we might just really re-secure this up quite a bit. Okay, I really have no idea when that time-lapse stopped recording. I'm sure I'll find out in post-editing. But I get the floor up, as you can see here. There is no audio on this one, just so you know. So if you hear wind noise, I'm sorry. I don't want to risk high-end audio equipment for the construction environment for right now. But there shouldn't be any wind, so there shouldn't be that. I want to show you what's going on, why I pulled the floor up. Partly there's damage here, right there, and there's also damage on the other side right there. But this is my first inspection that I've seen on it. Let's see if I can get this held right. That is a broken weld, actually a lot of broken welds. Each one of these is a broken weld along there, and it's underneath the plywood. Same thing with up here. There's a, you can see that here. That should not move independent of the frame, which makes it look really bad when you're going down the road and when you first look at it. All these have little base broken welds all the way around the edges of it. So what I'm going to do is probably clean it up. Maybe spray paint it. Clean it up. Re-weld the broken welds. Maybe add a couple more welds to it on both sides, preferably. Because it looks like it's just a holding weld, not anything major. And clean up along here and peel up wood until I find no more broken welds back there on the subfloor, and we'll decide if we're gonna cut that and make it a little bit more aerodynamic or not. I'm thinking about just dropping a line from, let's say, a line that kind of follows that one right there. Something like that. It wouldn't be much of a line. It would take out about a square foot, 8 foot tall, so 8 square feet of space in here on both sides. But it also give you a little bit more, well, when I can cut all that crap out down there that's all broken anyhow. I don't really like how they did this, but I guess it works. However, whoever did it. But if we do that, it gives us, I mean, I don't want to cut into the subframe if I can avoid it. I don't like doing that. I mean, Otherwise, we're going to be creating a real V-nose, and I don't really particularly want to do a V-nose if, you know, it's not that big a deal. But what I want to do is make this corner a lot more solid, and if I parallel out like that, I mean, let's think about it for a while. Losing space, but it also squared up there, and then I could drop something on that corner there that'll bring down the middle and get rid of the fiberglass up there. No, the quick solution would be this, to re-weld this back up and try to pull out some of these dents of metal and everything else and drop metal up there, and that would be the quick solution just to get it done. It wouldn't be aerodynamic. And then mess with the fabricating it for later on, and I'm debating on doing that because really this was just a tool for the means to an end for stuff. But trying to decide if they did the design that way in the corner to save metal or for some engineering purpose that I don't see, like to make that a weak point, so if there's anything that damage happens, it doesn't destroy everything else whenever it hits it, or not, or if it's just designed that way to save weight or whatever else, or to look good or whatever, however they designed it. I mean, probably designed it to maximize inside space and didn't care about insulation because there's no insulation in the walls. I'll think about it for a bit, and then we'll make our decision, because that's a lot of work just adding that little corner there and doing the same thing on the other side. We probably could do it with the metal we have. We just pull the sheet off and set it aside and cut out all the corner pieces. It's also hot right now, and I'm trying to avoid doing too much heat work. And we could just pull that out and fix it too. We'll decide here a bit. In other words, the subfloor looks good. The welds over here looks good. There's some questionable welds on the front, like someone tried to touch it up from the outside. Like they tried to weld this from the outside, and they didn't have enough heat on the joints to do it, so all they got is this blob there. So, okay, talk to the boss lady. Funny, I call her my boss lady, but it is her build and her project. She doesn't want to do the corner area, cut it. She just wants to leave it as is, as middle as possible, making it work with what we got. So that's what we're going to do. I think we're going to go ahead and try to straighten that up. We'll throw a jack in there and try to pop that out and see if we can fix that corner section right there. And drop it in. I started pulling the screws out. We'll weld it down, and then we'll tackle this project there. And that's fine. It'll get us done that much quicker. This is part of the reason I think it's custom, is because that's all cut off all kinds of wonky. There's lots of wonkiness going on here. That's like that stuff on my eye. So maybe we should throw some fiberglass up there. That would be a really quick solution. Thicken it up. We wouldn't have to clean it up if we did it on this side, and it would make it waterproof, although it's a bunch of junk on top. So, yeah, I got power washed and this side off just so I can see what I'm doing, make sure I get all the welds taken care of. I initially was concerned that it vibrated itself off or too much, and that's why they broke. But yeah, I think I figured it out. This one's broke. This is jammed out that way. I got a ratchet strap here pulling it back in. This one pushes back out over here. Of course, that weld's broken at the weld, the edge of the weld, which is really weird. But I think it's this injury right here. Someone hit it, and it created enough pressure to pop out of the welds. And probably not the injury itself did it. It's probably whatever they hit it. And the way it hit, it popped the welds out. So we might trim that up a little bit. I'll talk to boss lady. I'll talk to the boss, see what she thinks. If not, we'll just fix it and weld it back down, and hopefully no one will hit nothing again with the trailer. I'm going to clean it up and take care of some of this rust. When we go back together, we'll drop a piece of angle on here to help tie everything up together. Re-weld it all up. Alright, well, just thought that was kind of interesting. I'm gonna go get the grinder and a stainless steel wool and see if we can clean up some of this and get the welder out. You can get some of this welded. Pull it all into the weld area and re-weld all these. I might even get a regular cutting blade and smooth that one off there. See if we can make all these right. Just holding that up. Oh, that one's. I have to be careful about these wires here. How the heck did they put that on? Oh, they must have put that on when there's no skin on it. I think I'm going to take a jack stand and push this out. Flatten that out a little bit better too. Alright.